Hi everyone, welcome to the GDG Jam Round 2 Showcase Night. As it says, it's celebration time. Okay, well first off, congratulations. You guys have just finished a very grueling game jam over the space of 6, 7, 8 weeks. You guys should all be proud of what you've done. It was a monumental effort from everyone, I'm sure. And huge round of applause to everybody. Okay, now let's have a little bit of a recap of this jam. The game themes were Fable, and it had an optional subprompt of Decrepit. You formed over half a dozen teams, and all of you guys had amazing, wonderful ideas. You guys made a video game in a short amount of time, which can be hard to pull off, obviously. And I'm hoping you guys all learned a bunch of cool new skills, be it if it's in art or programming or design or anything like that, and music, obviously. So you guys have done a lot. Like I said, just be proud of yourself that you've even got to this point. Just a quick note for anyone that hasn't, uploading to itch is very important. Obviously, that's how you can showcase your games to other people, how they can play it if they don't have a direct link to you, etc. And I would implore everybody to upload the game to itch if they haven't done already. Right. Well, the meat of the night anyway. Leads, come on up and briefly tell us about your game. So we have some questions for the leads of the game. If the rest of your teammates want to come up, that's completely fine. And I guess we'll start with, does anybody want to start off? I see someone that one. Yeah. There you go. Awesome. There you go. Well, here's some questions. So, who is the team / roles in your game?
So, I did sound effects.
Oh.
Wait, what?
Wait, sorry. My bad. So, okay, maybe first you should say what your game was, who was in your team, etc., and what everyone's roles were.
Okay.
Cool.
So, our game's Lyre of Levant. We had, it's me, Sebastian, Sonu, Anna, and we had a couple members still not here. Our game is about a young Middle Eastern boy who sucks at like being a soldier, and like at boot camp he gets bullied, and suddenly the spell of the damnation or decrepitism is like cursed upon Damascus. And then with that, like his lyre gets enchanted, and everyone else like it becomes like under the spell, and then he has to use his lyre to defeat everybody.
Awesome.
Yeah.
Awesome. So what was some of the mechanics in this game?
So at first the original scope of the game had combination keys for single attacks, because that's reminiscent of playing a chord on a lyre. But we found we had to downscope that, as like certain members were not free, so it ended up just being a single key for a single different type of attacks for different soldiers. So that's the central mechanic of our game.
Nice. Could you tell us about some roadblocks that you guys faced during the development?
I'll say roadblocks would be getting people together, but like early on we managed to set a consistent time every Sundays for everybody to come together. I guess re-scoping throughout the project would be like the biggest challenge we had, given the changes in the number of team members we had and the skill set. So and understanding the personnel that we have would be the main lesson that I took away from that.
Awesome. So what would you say would be some positive experiences then?
I'll say positive experience. Everyone was very passionate, and everyone had we had a diverse array of skill sets, and I think having a game that encompasses so many different types of arts, like music, visual art, and like programming, that was the thing I found the most fulfilling about this.
And the biggest question of all, will you continue to work on it?
Yeah, hell yeah.
Okay, awesome.
Yeah.
That's great. Awesome.
Yeah.
Well, that was Lyra of Levant. Everyone, give them a warm round of applause. Awesome. Now, who else wants to come up? I'm assuming everyone, right? Oh, there you go. Sorry, there you go. Awesome. Is anybody else in your team? Because the rest of the team can come up too.
Okay.
Here we go.
Yeah. So our game is called The Temple. It's a game where someone gets lost inside an arcade that's haunted by the ancient spirit Dionysus. And to escape the arcade, you need to complete 6 different arcade games, each with a different kind of style and genre. So as for team roles, Benjamin and me were doing most of the programming, and Adi and Jordan were doing the art, intent mechanics. So we have 6 different mini games, each on their own arcade machine, and each game is very distinct to the other. So I guess I wouldn't say we have one mechanic more than we have 6.
Yeah, 6 like separate mini games which were developed sort of independently. Could be their game, like their own game on their own.
What roadblocks did we face? I think the biggest roadblock was probably time management. With a month-long jam, it's very easy to say, I'll do this next week, or I'll do this next week. So it kind of ended up being a bit of a last-minute thing, at least for me.
And also like scoping out like exactly what we wanted, because we had like a hazy idea of like, yeah, we could do this, but because we hadn't clearly defined like we need this, this, and this, it like got left to the last minute. So like clearly defining like exactly what we wanted.
What were some positive experiences? I think it was quite a nice idea, and it was fun getting into the world building aspect, trying to write some narrative and kind of put a bit of a story behind it. That was the first time I'd really done that in any of my games. What lessons did we learn? I definitely think that kind of project management was a big one, both planning out who's doing what and what exactly it is we want in the game at the beginning rather than at the end. And will we continue to work on it? I think the answer to that is probably yes.
Yep.
We want to finish it off, clean out the rough edges.
Yeah.
Awesome,
Mhm.
nice.
Covers it.
Nice, well, that was the temple. Cool, awesome, 2 games. So, do we have any other teams that want to come up? Oh, sorry, there you go. Come on up.
Alex, and this is Yumin, and we made a game called it's kind of I call it Foretold. It's like a platforming game where you're like a fox. What was this question?
Oh, there you go. There you go, you can see.
What was the intent? Oh yeah, so like we had a bigger scope at the start, really, as is probably with a lot of people. But so like it was supposed to be like a platformer, and it's like a puzzle platformer, where it has like I wanted to make like 4 different levels, but we ended up only making 3. That's pretty good. That's all right. What Roblox?
For me, first using the game engine, figuring that out was very hard, but I managed to get some functions done.
Yeah. So using Unity first time. And I think probably I don't know. I guess like getting our team together and making stuff and kind of like setting out exactly what we needed to do, because at the start we didn't really. I hadn't really just like, because it was my idea, but I hadn't really defined what we needed to do very much. So it kind of just ended up being a bit foggy what we needed to do, and then it was hard to like actually know what like clearly you needed to do. Positive experience. It was cool. It was like fun making. It was cool like doing something I'm passionate like making, and like it was like satisfying to get stuff working. We did actually get stuff done early, which was cool, but then it kind of slowed down near the end, and then we sped up again at the end. What lessons? I don't know. I guess don't underestimate art, because art is difficult. Will we continue to work on it? I think, probably. I'd be keen to work on it, definitely. Yeah, it's not like as finished as I want it to be, but yeah, it's playable. So,
What was it? Was that Foretold?
Yeah, Foretold, the game.
Awesome.
The name, yeah.
Awesome. Well, everyone give a round of applause for Foretold. Alright.
So our game was Deicide, and the team was basically Daniel on coding, and me doing art, story, game direction, everything else that isn't coding. So the mechanics were meant to be kind of like Sekiro or Blasphemous or Hollow Knight, those kind of games where it's like a 2D like side-scrolling kind of boss rush adventure thing. We were going to originally do a Metroidvania, but like full-out levels, that's way too much for a game jam. So we just decided to focus on the most fun part, which is boss fights and stuff like that. I suppose our scope might have been a bit too big at the start with 5 bosses planned or 4. So we quickly shortened it down to just 1, but that proved to be a little too much still.
Time management on my behalf, to be honest.
Very much on your part.
Getting everything done within a day.
Mm-hmm.
And then being unfamiliar with the new like systems in Unity, like the new input system and addressables, which then caused major issues, such as saving not working, and then stuff like exporting to the editor, exporting standalone from the editor, just breaking just stuff as well, which is it's Unity for you.
Yeah. Unity was not kind to us. I suppose some of the roadblocks we faced were having a set schedule for things, kind of similar to everyone else here. We did a lot of work in the beginning, like we were really passionate for it, and then it kind of dropped down, and then by the end, with the deadline approaching, we all ramped up production. Some positive experiences. Well, for me personally, I really like working on the art and kind of improving my pixel art. Like, I'm still pretty bad at it, but I don't know, the experience was fun, and I don't regret that I had that. As a team, one of the positive experiences was at 4 p.m. today when we were rushing to finish the game and submit it on time, which we did not. But wait, you can still play it at our computer. What lessons did you learn? Maybe have a bigger team next time, so it's like we can split up production more, or anything you learned? Maybe don't procrastinate next time. And will you continue to work on it? I would like to continue to work on it, but I don't see the coding part going too far, so maybe I'll do some more art, some more story, some concepts for it, but for now, I don't think there's anything tangible that's going to come out of it.
Awesome. Yes. Round of applause for Dave. Okay. Is that all? Is that everyone? Awesome. Great. No, there's one more. Me. So I also made a game simply called Tanks. Who is your team and role / game? Me, person of 1 in Unreal. Yeah. Now, what were the intent and mechanics? Well, basically the whole idea was I had a sandbox, I had a bunch of enemy tanks, and I had my own tank, and you had to go around this lovely sandbox and shoot all the tanks with a very small amount of health. The scope, well, I didn't have time to put health potions along the battlefield. No time for that, but that is the main intent of it. You're like a tank and you shoot other tanks, and it's in 3D, yes. The roadblocks that I faced were not having an artist. Yeah, so I was by myself, I'm a programmer, I had to get lots of things online. It looks okay, it could look much, much, much better. And some of the positive experiences would be, I haven't made a game in a long time. This was a nice way to get back into the saddle. And what lessons did I learn, apart from getting more people to work on it, would probably be install Unreal debugging symbols. Probably that. Now, will I continue to work on it? Absolutely. For a month or 2. Then I'll stop. And that was my game, Tanks. Warm round of applause to Tanks. Awesome. So those are all the games. Now, just before we get into the actual game playing part, we have a few upcoming events. First one, join the council for 2024. So we have a lot of open positions for the GDG Council coming up. We have a president, vice president, media creator, jams team supervisor, social media managers, videographer, and general execs. So if you have any interest in helping this club move along, I mean, helping organize events, all the things that we do throughout the year, like game jams, come on through. I mean, we have our AGM next week, so that's where we elect all our execs. Now, speaking of the AGM, everyone's invited. We have an AGM next week where we will do things such as changing our constitution, ushering in new execs, and obviously giving out the awards for all the games made in semester 1 and semester 2. The awards are pretty cool, so and that'll be next Monday, same place, same time, same room, same everything, and please come along. So yeah, like I said, that's our AGM next week, and so it'll basically just go. We'll give some annual reports, like our treasurer's report, our president's report. We'll change some of the constitution. We'll do the elections. We'll have an award ceremony for all the games, obviously, and then afterwards we'll have some closing notes, and we'll all go to dinner and dessert. Now for GDG Jam 24, it's going to be the same times as this year. Obviously, next semester, early next semester 1, early semester 2, we'll be running the game jams again. It gives you a chance to make more games, learn from, well, put into effect the things that you learn from this jam into the next jam, and continue upgrading your game development career, I guess. Now, off you go, everyone. You guys can play the games.
Hey everyone, Editor Joshi here. I just wanted to put this slide in case you are interested in joining the council for the GDG next year. Here is the QR code for our join form, and we also have another form here for the awards voting as part of our GDG awards and sometime next week. Please fill out the forms as soon as possible, and if you are interested in the council, in joining the GDG council next year, it is a good opportunity to network in the wider game dev industry and be part of a nice diverse collaborative team in the University of Auckland. Thank you, and hope to see you in the GDG AGM and awards sometime next week.